Okay. Welcome back, everybody. This is Lynn Otter here to do another episode of One Last Night. It might be a shorter one because got called into work when I was supposed to. Got called in to go into work a little bit earlier today than I was expecting. But and on top of that, I've got a few other projects that I'm working on at the same time. But all the more reason to just get right on into it. Last where we left off, what were we doing? We were about to go on to a little side quest. Alrighty. I walked a bit faster to get ahead of the bat as we began traipsing through the underbrush, the sound slowly growing louder as we approached. And by the sound, he means the thingamajig. I think it's going to be a river. Hold on, I just got to set my timer. There. Xavier seemed to notice now, too, his ears giving a brief twitch as he analyzed what he was hearing. Is that? His answer was cut off as our destination came into view before us, the soft sound of rushing water now clear. Yes, I was right. Before us now was a river, the water flowing at a brisk pace as it collided with the rocks beneath the surface. It wasn't too deep, the bottom still visible as we approached the riverbank, and I slid my pack off to set to the side. The sun shone down on the brook, hopefully providing some warmth to the stream as the greenery surrounding the area blew ever so slightly on the breeze. Overall, it was a beautiful spot that had remained relatively undisturbed over the years, even less so now. My companion seemed to notice this as well as he took in the sight in awe. Wow! Wait, I think I got his voice all wrong. Wow! This place is gorgeous! How did you manage to find this? Xavier stepped further ahead of me into the clearing. I've hiked these trails many times over the years, not just after the apocalypse either. There's only so much you can explore before you decide to blaze new trails. However, this was one of my discoveries. Xavier followed my lead now, placing his quiver pack down. I intended to waste no time here, sliding my shirt off as he examined the watery clearing. Whoa, I see now. This is that scene. Most importantly, the sound coming from the stream is good noise reduction for what we'll be doing here. My pants were at my ankles and the bat turned to look at me. Are you finally going to tell me that... Xavier glanced at my mostly nude form, a heat beginning to rise to his cheeks as he tried to speak. I feel like obviously this isn't going to be a, it's not going to be like a sexual thing. It's going to, trick me, but I'm trying to think, what on earth could he be thinking right now? He's stripping, he wants noise reduction for something? Jeez, episode wasted no time. I thought they were going to go like fishing or something. What? Oh. But this is so sudden. You mean right here? Right now? But... Oh, I step out of my pants and hook my thumb into my underwear. Wait. Wait, is he actually stripping completely naked? What just happened? I step out of my pants and hook my thumbs into my underwear, about to slide them down as my companion is able to finally string words together in an almost squeal. Stop! What do you think you're doing? I blink at him in confusion, moving my hands back to my sides. Getting undressed? Why? I gestured to the river, expecting him to connect the dots on his own. It takes a few minutes as his face begins to redden further beneath his fur at realizing what I'm talking about. We're going to bathe. Like... together? Well, not together per se, but in close proximity to each other, yes. I'd rather we stick close by just in case there's plenty of room in the river for both of us. Well, just in case, and there's plenty of space in the river. His blush seems to ease a bit at that answer, and I smirk, taking into consideration how flustered I just made him. Jeez, I feel like, I don't know, I can't blame him for being flustered. I feel like that's not something you kind of just spring on somebody. You just start stripping and say, yeah, we're going to take a shower. Like, what? Oh my gosh. What's the matter, kid? You aren't afraid of a little male contact, are you? The bat immediately flusters again, at a loss for words. Oh, come on. That wasn't even my best work. You act like you've never seen another nude man before. That's because I haven't. Now that surprises me. I mean, not everybody's as experienced, as you can be, Dorian. Wait, really? Of course not. What do you mean? I thought you were gay. What? What does that have to do with anything? His flustered state turns into shock at that. What? How did you know? I give him my most disappointed look yet and use a hand to gesture to the outfit he's currently wearing. I mean, it's not a tell-all. Jeez, what is this? If he thought he looked straight in those clothes, the kid might have been more clueless than I thought. I feel like I mumbled that line. I need some water. Let me take some water from the river here before they step in all nude and stuff. Xavier glances down at himself and rubs at his arm, embarrassed. Point taken. I give him a soft smile. I'm still surprised though. You're a conventionally attractive dude. I thought you surely would have had a guy hanging off your arm at some point. Xavier seems to get a bit uncomfortable at the insinuation, not meeting my eyes as he responds. I had a rather sheltered upbringing. Never got the chance to try a relationship or anything like it. Too busy planning for the apocalypse in his bunker. Oh. An awkward silence begins to descend on the two of us. I speak up first, trying to break the tension before it gets too thick. Well, hey, think of it this way. You've already seen my body before when you first bandaged me, so there should be nothing new. Xavier meets my eyes again before they start to wander downward a bit as he considers my point, shooting back upward suddenly. I guess that's true enough. I saw all of you except for, well, He gives a vague gesture to my crotch, trying not to look down in that direction. I think over the current predicament and how I'd rather not waste too much time here, coming to the direct conclusion. It'd make things less awkward if you were nude too. What? The bat immediately flusters up again at my statement. There goes all my work talking him down. Kid, I know you're nervous, but we don't have much time to waste here. Plus, you're going to need to bathe eventually, and what better place to do it than at a natural river? It's a refreshing experience once you get used to the cold. Xavier looks down to the water and back at me, taking a few deep breaths to calm himself down. He's not wrong. You don't want to stay all stinky when you're traveling. All right. You can do this, Xavier. Nothing to be worried over. Piece of cake. No big deal. He repeats a few similar statements to himself as he begins to undress, eyes closed as to help with the anxiety he's surely feeling and to tune out the world. Seeing my companion undress, I'm able to get a proper look at his body with the sunlight shining over the riverbank. While he doesn't have abs, his body is sleek and defined like that of an athlete. He has more musculature in his chest and arms, likely due to his skills with the bow. My assessment was right earlier. Xavier really is attractive. I'm sure he'd have had many dudes chasing after him if he got out in the world more. Maybe he'll even still find his chance now. If there's one thing this apocalypse taught me, it's that even the most unexpected things can happen. That could include a random twink finding love. Because they never can. In real life, apparently, yeah. I cover my mouth to hide my laugh at my thoughts as he removes his pants, not wanting him to think I'm laughing at him. As he does so, I take a moment to really pay attention to Xavier's arms as I realize something's off between them. It takes me a few glances back and forth before my brain finally makes the connection. He only has one wing. Oh. I'm surprised it took me this long to notice. I'd always considered myself observant, but this realization puts that to shame. Then again, I didn't really check him out I didn't really check him out over our day in a quarter together. I make a mental note of it to ask about it later, not wanting him to feel judged right after he'd gotten the courage to take his clothes off in the first place. Excuse me. He finishes folding his jeans before placing them in a pile to the side and moving to remove his underwear, causing me to follow suit. I catch a glimpse of Xavier's manhood as I do so. It's average size with a decent girth to it. Uncut, too. I don't know why you're paying so much attention right now. I feel like if the kid's really uncomfortable, you should probably just avert your avert your gaze. Oh, there you go. Quickly, though, I avert my eyes. Last thing I need is for him to start calling me a pervert. It's like that anime scene where he like slaps him because he thinks he's checking him out. Although I guess in this case he actually kind of was. It's not like I can help the urge to look at another man's crotch. It's only natural to want to know what they're packing downstairs. Is it though? I mean, I guess. I cringe. Oh, okay. Well, okay. You know what? I'm jumping the boat. This story's beating me to it. I cringe at my own internal monologue. I need to stop trying to justify myself to, well, myself in the dumbest of ways. He opens his eyes again to look at me, our gaze meeting now for the first time in the nude. Not so hard now, was it? Xavier startles at that. It wasn't this whole time. Wait, what? It wasn't this whole time. I swear. I blink at the response. Oh. What? Didn't you mean... Oh. Oh. Nothing. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Wasn't hard to do. Nope. Understood what you said the first time. It takes a few minutes as the dots begin to connect in my head. Here I thought I had the dirty mind. Instead of pressing him on the matter, I decide to drop it to give the bat some form of relief. I crouch down next to my bag, reaching into the pockets to take out some soap and spare washcloths. Thanks to my organization methods, I find the supplies easily and hand Xavier his share. I can already guess that you'll want to bathe separately rather than together. If you don't mind. No problem. Just stay close by in case any danger should arise. We've got a schedule to stick to, but we're free to take a little time to enjoy ourselves here, too. Aye, aye, Captain. We both begin to head in opposite directions from each other. I keep my eye on him to make sure he doesn't wander too far, however. Satisfied with his distance, I turn my attention upstream and begin to wash myself. Xavier had done a decent job the previous day in cleaning me up, but it wasn't the same as having a proper chance to wash yourself. There was something rejuvenating about letting fresh water run over your body, cleansing you literally, but in a way mentally as well. I'd really learned to appreciate spending time bathing from Marshall, who loved to do it. Yeah, I had to learn to enjoy taking showers too. I mean, obviously it feels good to be clean, but I'm really lazy sometimes. Gotta find a way to just kind of appreciate the simple act of, I don't know, washing yourself, I guess. He'd take a while, sometimes too long, in the shower, making sure his fur was absolutely pristine. I tease him about it from time to time, which usually got me wrapped in a big hug and smelling like wet dog with hints of citrus body wash. When we would have baths together, he taught me that bathing could be more than just a necessity, but a time of leisure as well. A way to let your stresses flow off of you and give you the chance to just breathe. I listened to him, and slowly but surely, I felt the urge to let the hot water flow over my skin grow stronger and stronger each time. Granted, I'd never spent as long in there as Marshall did due to the fact that he has fur and I don't. So this was something I meant to mention. Dorian is a human, I think. I saw like that brief picture of him from the very first episode, and he was a human, so interesting. Unless he's just like some kind of naked mole rat. I splashed my face with the cold stream water, bringing myself back to the present and ending my reminiscing. The stream, unfortunately, isn't terribly warm due to the minimal sunshine it gets, but it's enough so I'm not horribly freezing just by touching it. Doesn't really compare to a hot shower, though. I spend a good while and clean my body, thinking more about Marshall all the while. It's rare you're able to connect with someone on such a visceral level, to be able to reach the point where you feel like you truly understand each other. I was drawn to him the moment we met, feeling some kind of connection instantly. Then over time, he won me over with his compassion, his kindness, his humor. He made me fall for him when I thought I'd never really fall for someone again. He was there for me when I needed him, wherever I needed him. That's the kind of man he is. He has such a beautiful soul, and I smile whenever I think of that handsome, dopey face. I'm confident in my words when I say Marshall is my true love, the one I'm destined to be with. As I told Xavier last night, if something had happened to him, deep in my chest I'd know it. He has to be out there somewhere, And I'm sure he's looking for me too. I stare up into the sky, hoping somewhere out there he's looking up at it too, as the little remaining daytime already begins to fade away. I will find you, my love. Your deputy is coming. I did up the last button on my shirt as I finished getting dressed, shaking my hair out a bit to help it dry easier. Glancing over, I saw Xavier's pile of clothes still sitting next to his quiver, untouched since earlier. A quick look back revealed the bat still splashing himself with the water. Looks like I'm not the only one who appreciates a good cleaning. I'd have let him go a little while longer normally, but we were already into twilight again, and we had one more stop to make before the day was over. Hey kid! Wrap it up, we've got places to be. Coming! I see him splash himself one last time and shiver before he comes back to shore and shakes off a bit, almost like a wet dog. I toss him a towel to dry himself before he looks up, barely catching it in time. Thanks. I turn my attention back towards my bag, putting the supplies from our bath time away. It feels great to be clean after the fight the day before. I noticed as well the bruising had already begun to fade away for the most part. It was a miracle I'd managed to get away from that fight relatively unscathed, something I owed entirely to Xavier's presence and timing. Suspicious as the timing was, I still owed him my life for that coincidence. He was more likely friend than foe. I was still determined to keep him by my side for the next while. A good few minutes later, my companion had toweled off and clothed himself. His fur remained a bit wet, particularly the fluff around his head. I noticed, yeah. And, that animatic I was drawing, getting this little fluff here was, not a challenge, but it's a detail that you can't miss. I'm ready to go, old man. We can still make progress before your 7 o'clock bedtime. I rolled my eyes at that while he adjusted his quiver, turning to take the lead. You whippersnappers these days. We both let out a chuckle as we started off onto the main path, pushing the brush aside on the makeshift trail. And we're off again. The sounds of the creek began to slowly fade behind us, a comforting contrast to the typical woodland atmosphere. I savored moments like these. After all, it was hard to tell when or if you'd be able to experience them again, so you needed to make them count. Looks like my timer's about to go off. I'm debating just cutting this short. What's the next line? It wasn't a long trek before we were back and moving forward on the path. And I guess that's kind of a good way to end it, I think. I do have to... Because I actually also want to get started on another visual novel. So I'm going to go ahead and finally start. I think I've decided to do Socially Awkward. I've heard a decent amount about it, and the story seems to hopefully be a little more down to earth. Not like an apocalyptic setting or interference with demonic entities. Simple high school drama. It seems kind of fun. So I want to give that a shot, as well as give myself time to work on some other things like animatics and some reviews for the other channel I'm trying to work on in Kickstart. So, in the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys have a good day. Take care. We'll see you next time and all that jazz. And one day I will get better at these outros and stuff. But bye.